Good evening, everybody. A really warm welcome this evening on our Meet the Tutor evening. I'm going to go through quite a bit of information with you today, so it might be useful for you to have a pen and paper handy. What I do ask, please, if you could keep your cameras switched off and your microphones on mute, that would be very much appreciated, just in order to not disturb our meeting. And then any questions you can ask at the end, either in the chat or by asking me verbally at the end. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start presenting, giving you quite a bit of information. So as I said, if you want to make any notes, please feel free to do so. So a huge welcome to all of you. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you all as you join RAWMARSH Community School. I'm aware that you're going to have lots of questions and are probably quite excited, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm really looking forward to meeting you all. Just some, as I said, some housekeeping just for our session this evening. If I could just reiterate, please keep your cameras and microphones switched off during the session. What I will say is, if you type anything in the chat while I'm presenting, unfortunately, the system doesn't allow me to read that. You can ask questions in the chat box as we go through, and what I will do at the end is I'll come to those and I'll address those individual questions when we finish, but just be aware that I can't actually read them until I actually go to look at those. Any specific questions that are personal to your child, please ask me via email, or you feel free to give us a call in school just to protect your child's privacy. And you will be needing to obviously use your child's RCS school email account to keep this session secure. So lots of different content for you this evening. Just some introductions, a little bit about myself, the RAWMARSH way, form time, uniform and equipment, canteen and parent pay, attendance information and safeguarding, looking at the behaviour policy, mobile phones, Chromebooks, rewards, some information about the RAWMARSH pledge, and then finally ending with that promised question and answer session. So my name is Mrs. Cooper, Jodie Cooper. I'm a teacher of business studies and ICT, and I've worked at RAWMARSH School for 8 years. My email address you should be able to see there on the screen. It's jcooper@rawmarsh.org. So if you'd like to just make a note of that, so you've got that written down. And then if you do have any questions or you want to make contact with me before your child comes up to RAWMARSH, then please feel free to drop me an email. That's jcooper@rawmarsh.org. The year team, so each year group has a head of year and a student manager. So our heads of year are also teachers. Mrs. Hazard teaches science. We also have a student manager, Miss Glover, who she isn't actually a classroom teacher. What Miss Glover's job is to provide pastoral care and support to the year group. And she will be your first port of call in school should you require any help or support or guidance. Looking at the RAWMARSH way, these are the ethos of everything that we do at RAWMARSH. And the 12 statements in this graphic, some of the personal qualities that we aim to instill into all of our students. But in short, we want to learn, believe, and all succeed together. And as you can see from that graphic, the fundamentals of the RAWMARSH way are believing in ourselves, taking responsibility, dreaming big, working hard and never give less than our best, supporting others around us. And as throughout your time at RAWMARSH, you will become more and more familiar with these different statements, but also they are embedded into everything that we do. A way of kind of day-to-day living, a day-to-day operating within school, and just generally learning to be good citizens and excellent students. This is what the school day will look like. So we have 4 lessons in a day. an hour and 20 minutes each. So you have, first of all, starting at 8:40, we have a 20-minute tutor period. You then have period 1 and period 2, which finishes at 20 to 12, and then a half an hour break. We then have period 3, a second break, and then period 4, with the school day ending at 3:10. So on the first day, you'll be invited to come straight into your form room, where we will actually meet in person. You're obviously going to be given your new timetables on those days, and there'll be lots of people around school. If one of the biggest worries that students tend to have when they're coming up to RAWMARSH is that they may get lost. But there are lots of people around to help and support. And certainly on that first morning, I'll be giving you lots of pointers and guiding you in the right direction. I do recommend that you bring your PE kit on the first day, because it is possible that you will have PE on your timetable. So you would normally be expected to bring your PE kit on the days you have PE. So assume that you may have PE on day 1 and just bring that with you until you actually receive your timetable. A little bit about tutor time. We have a warning bell that rings at 8:40 a.m. and then by 8:45 you need to be in your tutor room, ready and waiting for the session to start. And we take the register at 8:45, so students arriving after that time would be marked late. We have 1 assembly per week in the main hall, and we have form time activities that include things such as the RAWMARSH pledge, themed learning, reading and debates, and also looking at effort and attendance data, and what we call CFPs and CFCs. Now you'll become more familiar with those throughout your time at RAWMARSH, and certainly within the first couple of weeks. But a CFP is a cause for praise, so that's where you're awarded effectively a positive behaviour point for doing something well. It could be a piece of work, or it could be something that you do supporting another student or a member of staff. And a CFC would be a cause for concern. So that's where perhaps you've got it wrong, and it's the staff way of reporting that incident. So CFPs are what we want to earn. If we're going to be the top winning tutor group, then CFPs are what we need to be earning, and absolutely no CFCs for anybody. A little bit about school uniform. The uniform providers provide tailored trousers or black knee-length skirts with the Wickersley Partnership Trust logo on, and that's displayed on the upper part of the leg. That's just visible there in that picture. A white shirt, please, and a clip-on school tie. A black V-neck jumper or cardigan with the school logo and the Wickersley Partnership Trust logo, which is printed onto the sleeve. So again, that's visible in this image of those students. So you can just see there the RAWMARSH logo and the Wickersley Partnership logo on the sleeve, on the left sleeve. For PE kits, you need to make sure that you've got shorts, leggings or tracksuit bottoms with the RAWMARSH logo on. The t-shirts also have the RAWMARSH logo. They make hoodies and 3/4 zip tops as well, black socks and some trainers. Okay, so really essential that you have your PE kit, and as I said to you, particularly on the first day. Now, footwear is important, and it's one of the biggest outlays that parents and guardians make in terms of buying uniforms. So I want everybody to get it right so that nobody feels that they've wasted a purchase of footwear. Very simply, plain black leather footwear with no stripes or logos. So all of these would be acceptable that are currently on the screen at the moment. So as you can see, they are plain black leather with no coloured stripes or logos on them whatsoever. On the screen now is examples of footwear that wouldn't be deemed acceptable. So in this first image, one with stripes and logos, shoes that are made from that are not leather, they are fabric. Buckles would not be appropriate. Again, another example of like a canvas shoe that isn't leather, and then plastic shoes with the logos. Again, unacceptable footwear and not part of school uniform. So I'm just going to flick back and let you have a look at that previous slide, just so you can see. But if you're not sure, please feel free, if you're out buying shoes and you're not sure, please just refrain from getting them there and then. Take a picture in the shop and feel free to email myself and Miss Hazard, and we can let you know whether they would be acceptable or not, rather than you wasting that money on unacceptable footwear. Coming on to accessories then, so makeup, it should be discreet and minimal. Certainly no false eyelashes or false nails are allowed at all. No extreme haircuts. Jewellery must be kept to a minimum, so just one small set of earrings, sleepers or studs in each ear. Facial piercings are not allowed at all. Your gold, silver and bronze award pin badges, which I hope that over the first few months of your time at RAWMARSH you earn plenty of, they can be and should be worn as part of your school uniform. So that's an example there on the right hand side on your screen of one of the pin badges that we actually award to students. Moving on then to equipment, what you need to make sure that you have with you as an absolute minimum: 2 pens, 2 pencils, a ruler, a sharpener, a rubber, and a bag to keep all of your equipment and books in. It's really essential that you have this with you. It makes sure that you are learning. You're not slowing down the learning of others by looking for equipment. It just means that as a tutor group, we are going to be well equipped. You can get in there and you can start your lesson and start your learning. And what I will be doing every day, part of my role as the tutor, is to make sure that you have full equipment every day. So our first job will be uniform checks and equipment checks. So please bear that in mind and make sure that you do have all the equipment that you need. Moving on to the canteen then, we're what we call a cashless school. So any money that you wish to spend on your lunch or at break time, that needs to be topped up via parent pay. Now, you will receive a letter about parent pay and how to set that up if you've never used it before, just before rollover, to allow you to do that. There's lots of different menu choices in the canteen, but a popular choice is where you can buy a meal deal, and such an example of such a deal would be buying a sandwich or a wrap, a snack and a drink, which will cost you £2.15. In that first couple of weeks, you get the privilege of just going to lunch 10 minutes early, really, so that you can become accustomed to the school canteen. And that just allows you to find your feet, because certain hatches sell certain different things. So it will allow you to have a look at what's being sold, to look at the prices and things, and then buy what you'd like to buy for your lunch before the rest of the students actually come down to buy their lunch. Looking at attendance, really important. Attendance does matter. Effort and attendance are the 2 key ingredients to success in school. Everybody should be aiming for 100% attendance. We don't authorise holidays. Okay, so any holidays that are taken during term time are considered to be unauthorised absence. If your attendance drops below 90%, it's considered to be what we call persistent absence. But if we consider that 95% attendance equates to 2 full lost weeks learning, then it is actually quite a significant amount, which is why we place such an importance on aiming for 100% attendance. With attendance of over 95%, you have a really good chance of achieving 5 or more really good GCSEs. If it drops below that, it is proven that it actually does have an impact. So at the end of each term, students with 100% attendance get a certificate and a photograph with their peers in the main hall as well, as recognition for your attendance achievements. Safeguarding and keeping our students safe. Every member of staff in school is responsible for safeguarding. And we do encourage our students to talk freely to anyone in school about any worries or anxieties that they may have. The students may become familiar with certain members of staff that they feel that they can actually share any worries or concerns with. So we also have a specific team of staff who offer specialist support to the students, including an in-house counselling team. So if your child would need any counselling support, they can be referred for that help. The Year 7 PSE curriculum tackles statutory topics that prevent potential safeguarding and issues in school, which may arise amongst young people. So some of the content there on the right-hand side. So in term 1, looking at skills for life, friendships and beliefs. Term 2, healthy body and mind, and then looking at body changes and puberty. And then term 3, relationship boundaries and an introduction to the law, and also safety in and out of the home. So just some photographs there of our key safeguarding staff. So on the left then, we've got Mrs. Howard and Mr. Wainwright. They are the staff in charge of the safeguarding team. We've also got Miss Palmer, so that's Miss Palmer in the middle. She's the main school counsellor alongside Miss Shirt, who also does safeguarding work. And then the SEND team, who Miss Hodges, who is our Senko, that's Miss Hodges there on the left, and also Miss Gibbons, okay, here on the right. Some of the rules then. The rules really are very, very clear and very simple. So what we expect as an absolute minimum: arriving to lessons on time, wearing correct uniform, arriving fully equipped. Well, we've already spoken about that and what you will need. Doing as we're asked the first time of asking. Definitely no shouting or swearing, and no arguing. Now, all of those things will obviously make sure that you have a really kind of easy and seamless time, combined with lots of effort within school and always trying your best and working hard. I'm sure you'll be earning lots of these CFPs, these calls for praises. Mobile phones, you can bring them into school, but we ask that you keep them in your bags, but in lessons, unless the teacher asks you, because sometimes the teacher might ask you to research something using your mobile phone. Mobile phones can be used at break times, but they should be used in your tutor room only, and definitely not on the corridors. And I don't want to hear about any of my tutor group having their phones confiscated for using their phone at an inappropriate time. Any headphones, can you please make sure that they are left at home? You don't need to bring those into school, and they will be confiscated from you. So these key terms that we've spoken about CFPs. They're the positive behaviour points, the cause for praise. The CFCs are your causes for concern. So we're effectively issuing a behaviour point, so sort of negative behaviour accruing at a behaviour point. A sanction is where your behaviour is disrupting the learning of others. So that means really that you need to be removed from the class for impacting the learning of others. After you've been sent to sanctions, if the teacher sends you to sanctions, you would receive an automatic detention at the end of the day, where the teacher would come and meet you and have a conversation about the behaviour that led to you being removed from the classroom. So, a very, very simple and clear approach to behaviour. If you breach the RAWMARSH rules, which we've already been through, you will receive a warning. So a simple reminder from your teacher of the rules, and particularly the rule that you are breaking at that time. The teacher will then ask you to step outside to consider your behaviour and attitude, and actually just sometimes having a couple of minutes just to maybe calm down and reflect on that behaviour. And then would ask you to return to the lesson. If you then continued with that negative behaviour, they would then remove you from the lesson. That would mean being sent to the sanction room, which, as we said, is then an automatic detention. And this conversation that you would have then with your teacher. As we said earlier, mobile phones are allowed, and these are the times that they're allowed. So in class, when the teacher's given you permission to use them as a learning tool. At break times, but only in form rooms. and also for recording homework. So if you wanted to use the calendar function on your phone, for instance, to record the homework that you need to do, like a diary, that would be okay. But I would just check with the teacher and let the teacher know that that's what you're intending to do. If your phone is visible on corridors or during the lesson time without permission, your phone will be confiscated until the end of the school day. It will be kept in a safe place in the school safe, and then you'll be given a detention at the end of the day for that as well. There are Chromebooks available, so using technology to enhance the learning of students, and we are aware that technology plays an important part in ensuring a high quality education, and we're passionate about giving our students equal access to this. So the Chromebook schemes actually allow an affordable option, and it gives students access to Chromebooks that they perhaps wouldn't otherwise have. So there are two options available. You could buy a Chromebook using the scheme which you would own. So through the scheme, the Chromebook will cost you £9.99 a month for 3 years. Now that comes with safeguarding software so you can monitor what your child accesses. Any accidental damage to the device will be repaired free of charge as well by the external company. Or you could loan one. So it's a new option which gives families some flexibility and lowers the cost. The Chromebook will be returned at the end of each academic year to be updated and serviced. If the Chromebook will be damaged, you will be liable for the cost, however. But through that option, you will pay £22 per year for every year your child was in the school and return it to the school when your child leaves. So as you can see, some really quite affordable options that you would want to consider. And then on to the really exciting stuff, the rewards that we can actually achieve as a tutor group for getting things right. So these CFPs that we've mentioned so much, the cause for praise points, which reward effort and attendance, golden ties, top boy and top girl. So at the end of every academic year, a top boy and girl award is made, and they actually get a special tie that is different to that all of the other students wear. Golden book, so that's for excellent presentation of work. Your teacher may nominate you for a golden book award. Effort ranking, so every time the teachers are asked to say what attainment you are currently working at, what level you're working at, we're also asked to grade your effort. And if you get excellent effort, you will obviously be high up in the effort rankings, and that's rewarded with pin badges and certificates. We also have the awards assemblies, 100% attendance certificates and badges that we mentioned earlier. RAWMARSH Pledge Awards, the Curriculum Awards for Effort and Attainment, and Gold, Silver and Bronze Awards. So they recognise effort, attendance and punctuality. The RAWMARSH Pledge ties in very much with the RAWMARSH Way, and it comes under 3 strands. So the 3 strands are active citizenship, life skills and British values. So active citizenship prepares you for life in modern society. Life skills equipping you to deal with a range of life experiences, and British values equipping you for life in modern Britain. Now, when you achieve a pledge, so there are certain tasks that you can undertake and get involved in within school. As you actually complete those tasks, as a reward for completing them, you will receive pin badges. So for each of the 3 pledges, when you've completed the 4 tasks, you'll be awarded with a pin badge to wear on your uniform. Obviously, the reward of taking part, gaining confidence, and also taking part in the pledge tasks and the graduation ceremony and celebration event at the end of the school year too. So lots to get involved in within the RAWMARSH Pledge. So I've just put up my email address again, just in case you didn't make a note of it at the beginning. And finally, I'm going to take any questions. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to come now to look at the chat questions. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? You can either pop them in the chat or you can ask them if you would like to. You will football boots and shin pads, possibly, but definitely if you are going to be joining or you're interested in joining the football team. But in terms of PE kit initially, just looking back at that list that we said, so I can actually just share that with you again if you just give me a moment. So let me just take these questions one at a time. So PE kit, let me just find our slide again. Right, I'm just going to share with you the PE kit slide just as a reminder. One second. So PE kit that you will need is the shorts and leggings, okay, tracksuit bottoms with a logo, t-shirt with a logo, your hoodie or zip top, your black socks and your trainers. Okay, so that's the kind of bare minimum of PE kit that you would require. In terms of football boots, I think definitely if you're going to join the football team, but I would hang fire until you know more about that. Can you go to after school clubs during transition? I'm pretty sure you probably can actually, Riley, but that would be something that I would have to find out and determine for you. But yes, I think the answer to that would be yes. Do we have planners? I believe, Ellie, that the plan is that you will be issued with planners in September. To answer Alicia's question about the top and bottom gates, at the moment, the different year groups enter through the different gates. Now, you will be told which gate to use for your rollover period. So for those 2 weeks that you come, you will be told, and that will probably be put into a letter for you and tell you which gate to use. When do we need to sort Chromebooks for? Definitely not straight away. That would be something I would look to be sorting for September. We are still in bubbles at the moment, Lucas, but we are hoping to come out of bubbles by the end of September. By the beginning of September, so that hopefully we're all together. If we have to go off for COVID, so if you have to isolate, okay, that wouldn't affect your attendance. It will just be the same, exactly the same as if you're in your primary schools at the moment. If you have to isolate, that wouldn't affect your attendance. If you are off because you have COVID, that's you're ill, you're unwell. So that would affect your attendance. Holly, to answer your question about dance school, that would be something that I'm sure you could probably get authorised through the attendance team. But when that is going to happen, what I suggest you do is we'll have a conversation. I can point you in the right direction. Noah, to answer your question, do you stay on the same floor for different lessons? No, you'll be moving around schools. So hopefully come September, we're going to be on those different, you'll be on just using school as normal. So up and down stairs and moving around the buildings. No, Caden, you don't have to use a Chromebook. It's certainly not compulsory. Ellie, you walk around to different classes. Yes, you can use your phone outside on the yard, Alicia. So that will be absolutely fine. So outside on the yard or at break time and in the tutor room at break time as well. All right. Now, unless you guys have got any more questions, I'm going to sign off in just a second, but it's been lovely meeting you all tonight. I mean, I know we've not actually spoken properly. I'm really excited to meet you all. Do any of you have any more questions before I go? Okay, well, remember my email address, guys. It's jcooper@rawmarsh.org. I can't wait to speak to you all. I think the history clubs and things like that will all start in September, Holly. But I think what will happen is when you come to RAWMARSH, it'll be so busy I would imagine that most extracurricular stuff will start in September. Remember, you're with us, you're going to be with us for 2 weeks, and there's going to be lots going on in that 2 weeks, finding your way around and knowing where you're going, meeting all your different staff. And obviously, you've got lots of different friends to meet as well. You're going to be on from your in your tutor group, in our tutor group, there's going to be people from all the different schools. Okay, so you will make new friends. That happens. Okay, I understand that some of you may be nervous, but equally I understand that I hope that you're excited too, because it's a great opportunity to meet new people and new friends. So it's been really nice talking to you all. If you do have any other questions, please feel free to drop me an email, and I'll do my very, very best to answer them. But if not, guys, I look forward to meeting you all at Rollover. You guys take care.